Too much of anything is not good for you, baby.
1974. Watergate was unraveling. Muhammad Ali was preparing to rumble in the jungle. And on the radio, pure magic. 1974 was the year soul music reached new heights. Funk was finding its footing. Disco was knocking on the door. And the artists creating the soundtrack? Absolutely unstoppable. These weren't just songs. These were moments, cultural earthquakes, songs that stopped you cold the first time you heard them and never let go. From Philadelphia soul to Memphis funk. From smooth ballads to explosive dance floor anthems. 1974 gave us everything. These are the top 15, so...
Some things I can't get used to, no matter how.
Number 15, The Hughes Corporation. Rock the Boat, 1974. Before Le Freak. Before Good Times.
And I've always had your tender lips to keep me warm.
Before disco became a movement, the Hughes Corporation gave the world its blueprint. Rock the Boat is widely considered one of the first true disco hits. It peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in July 1974. And when that bass line dropped, everything changed. The Hughes Corporation was a Los Angeles trio, Flemmy St. Clair, H. Ann Kelly, and Bernard Henderson, who'd been grinding for years before this moment arrived. They recorded the song for RCA Records, and nobody expected it to explode the way it did.
Don't let me drift away, my dear, when love can see me through.
But something about Rock the Boat connected on a molecular level. The groove was irresistible, the harmonies were tight, and the message, "Don't rock the boat, baby," was simple enough to feel universal. What makes this song historically significant is what it started. Within months of Rock the Boat hitting #1, the entire music industry was chasing that disco sound. But here's the thing. The Hughes Corporation never benefited from the movement they started. Their follow-ups didn't chart. The disco wave they created washed right over them. They lit the match. Everyone else got warm. Still, Rock the Boat remains a timeless groove. Put it on today and watch people move. That's the power of 1974. Number 14, Al Green, Sha-La-La, Make Me Happy, 1974. By 1974, Al Green was operating on a different level than everyone else. His voice had become something almost supernatural, a direct line between earth and heaven. Sha-La-La, Make Me Happy, was released on High Records and produced by Willie Mitchell, the genius behind Al Green's entire classic run. The song peaked at #1 on the R&B charts and crossed over beautifully to the pop charts. And it deserved every chart position. Everything about it is perfect. The gentle groove, the lush strings, the background singers floating beneath Al's lead, and that voice. Lord, that voice. Al Green in 1974 wasn't just singing, he was ministering. Every note felt intentional. Every run felt necessary. Every whisper felt like a secret between him and the listener. Sha-La-La captures pure joy. The kind of uncomplicated happiness that's rare in life and even rarer in music. It's a song that makes you feel good from the first bar to the last. What's remarkable is how effortless it sounds. Like Al Green woke up, strolled into the studio, and casually recorded a masterpiece before breakfast. That's what genius looks like when it's comfortable in its skin. 1974 had Al Green at his absolute peak, and Sha-La-La, Make Me Happy, is proof that peak was something special. Number 13, Grand Funk Railroad, The Locomotion, 1974. This might surprise you. A rock band on an R&B influenced list from 1974? But here's the truth. Grand Funk Railroad's cover of The Locomotion was a phenomenon. It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 2 weeks. Originally recorded by Little Eva in 1962 and then Kylie Minogue decades later, Grand Funk Railroad's 1974 version was the biggest of them all commercially. The band took a sweet pop song and gave it locomotive power. The guitars were huge, the rhythm was driving, and the energy was absolutely infectious. This was rock and roll with serious soul influences. The groove they created owed a massive debt to R&B traditions, and audiences responded. What makes this version unforgettable is its commitment. A Grand Funk Railroad wasn't doing a delicate cover, they were attacking this song. Full force, maximum energy. The result? One of 1974's most undeniable #1 hits. A song that crossed every demographic and every radio format. And 50 years later, that train hasn't stopped. The Locomotion still sounds like pure energy. Still sounds like 1974 refusing to slow down. All aboard. Number 12. Dionne Warwick. Then Came You, 1974. When Dionne Warwick joined forces with the Spinners for this 1974 collaboration, the result was pure magic.
I'm so darn proud of you.
Then Came You was released on Atlantic Records and became Dionne's first ever #1 pop hit. After more than a decade of incredible music and multiple Grammy Awards, she finally hit the top spot in 1974. The song was produced by Tom Bell. The Philadelphia soul genius who could make anything sound like heaven. And with Dionne's voice floating over the Spinners' harmonies, it was irresistible. What makes this collaboration special is the contrast. Dionne was sophisticated, polished, classic. The Spinners brought a grittier, street-level soul energy. Together, they found a middle ground that worked for everyone. The strings are lush. The arrangement is perfect. And the chemistry between Dionne and the Spinners sounds effortless. But here's what makes the story even more beautiful. This was Dionne Warwick proving that after everything, the hits with Burt Bacharach, the Grammy Awards, the career peaks and valleys, she could still reach #1. Then Came You wasn't just a hit. It was a statement. I'm still here. I'm still the best. And this is what it sounds like when everything aligns. 1974 agreed.
You're all I need to satisfy me.
Number 11. Rufus featuring Chaka Khan. Tell Me Something Good, 1974. Stevie Wonder wrote this song. Chaka Khan sang it. And together, they created one of the funkiest records of 1974. The story behind Tell Me Something Good is legendary. Stevie Wonder wrote it specifically for Chaka Khan after watching Rufus perform and being blown away by her presence. When the song was released on ABC Records,
Tell me that you love me.
It peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and won the Grammy for Best R&B Song in 1975. But the real story is in the performance. Chaka Khan was 21 years old, 21, and she was already commanding that song like a 40-year veteran. The raw power.
Tell me something good.
The control. The absolute refusal to hold anything back. Tell Me Something Good is funk at its most seductive. The groove is slow and hypnotic. The guitar riff is iconic, and Chaka's voice rides over everything like she owns it. Because she does.
What I got to give, well,
This was the moment the world realized Chaka Khan wasn't just a good singer. She was a force, a once-in-a-generation talent who made everyone around her better. And Stevie Wonder, already a legend, chose her. That tells you everything. 1974 gave us a lot of incredible music, but Rufus featuring Chaka Khan doing Tell Me Something Good? That was something special.
You wish there was 48 hours to...
Number 10. Ohio Players. Skin Tight, 1974. The Ohio Players were on another level in 1974. And Skin Tight is proof. This Dayton, Ohio funk collective had been grinding for years. But 1974 was when everything clicked. The musicianship, the production, the attitude. Skin Tight peaked at number 2 on the R&B charts and captured something raw and irresistible about mid-70s funk. The horns were punchy, the rhythm section was locked in tight, and the groove never let go. What made Ohio Players different was their precision. This wasn't sloppy funk, this was surgical. Every note in exactly the right place, every instrument playing exactly its role. But it also felt spontaneous. That's the paradox of great funk. It sounds like it could fall apart at any moment, but it never does. Year Skin Tight became an anthem for those who understood that music could be simultaneously sophisticated and street level. That funk could be both intellectual and visceral. Step on time. Ohio Players weren't just making party music. They were making art that happened to make you dance. And in 1974, when Skin Tight hit the airwaves, people didn't just dance. They lost their minds. Half a century later, that groove still works, still moves bodies, still proves that 1974 was something else entirely. Number 9. Barry White. Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe, 1974. Barry White's voice was a natural phenomenon, like thunder that somehow felt intimate, like a force of nature that whispered,
Oh, babe, tell me. What can I say?
Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe hit number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the R&B charts in 1974. Double number 1 in the same week. That's not talent, that's domination. The production was orchestral and massive. Strings,
I can stand. Oh, well, babe.
horns, layers upon layers of sound. But Barry's voice cut through all of it like it was nothing. Warm, deep, and absolutely commanding. Nobody before Barry White sounded like Barry White. Nobody since has managed to duplicate it. The song starts with that iconic orchestral intro that signals exactly what you're about to experience. Something luxurious, something cinematic, something that makes you feel like you're in a movie. And then Barry speaks, and the world melts. Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe isn't just a song.
So much, girl, you're so unreal still. I keep loving you.
It's an experience. It's 3 minutes and 47 seconds of pure sensory overload that somehow also feels completely relaxing. That's the Barry White paradox. Maximum stimulation that produces deep calm. 1974 had some incredible voices, but none of them sounded like that. Number 8. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, 1974. After the massive success of Midnight Train to Georgia in 1973, Gladys Knight and the Pips could have coasted, could have played it safe, could have just made another version of what worked. Instead, they gave us Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And it was perfect. The song peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1.
There was a moment that I've spent
On the R&B charts in 1974. Another masterpiece from a group that seemed incapable of making anything less. What makes this song special is its maturity. This isn't young love. This isn't infatuation. This is gratitude.
I know you're the best thing that ever.
A grown person looking at their partner and genuinely acknowledging the gift they represent. Gladys Knight's voice in 1974 was at its absolute peak. Warm but powerful. Smooth but with edges. I'm the kind of voice that felt like a hug. And the Pips? They weren't just background singers. They were full partners. The interplay between Gladys and the Pips created something that no solo artist could replicate. Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me became a wedding staple, an anniversary song, a way for people to tell the most important person in their life exactly what they meant. That's the highest honor a song can receive. Gladys Knight gave us that gift in 1974, and we've been giving it back to the people we love ever since.
I made it through.
Number 7. Stevie Wonder, Fulfillingness First Finale. Album, Boogie on Reggae Woman, 1974. Stevie Wonder, in 1974, was operating on a frequency nobody else could reach.
I like to see both up far deep.
Boogie on Reggae Woman was released from his landmark album Fulfillingness First Finale on Tamla Records. The album itself won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. The song peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B charts.
Can I play?
And it's one of the most joyful, inventive recordings of the decade. The title alone tells you where Stevie's head was. Reggae influences in American R&B in 1974? Nobody else was doing that. Nobody else was even thinking about it. But Stevie Wonder didn't follow trends. He created them.
What you trying to do?
And Boogie on Reggae Woman was Stevie showing the world that genre boundaries were just suggestions. The harmonica, the synthesizers, the layered vocals, the rhythmic complexity. It's a masterclass in musical intelligence disguised as a party song.
Can I play?
This is what happened when the most talented musician of his generation decided to just have fun. When genius stopped trying to prove itself and just played. The result? A song that makes you smile before the first verse is even finished. Stevie Wonder in 1974 was untouchable, and Boogie on Reggae Woman is one of the most joyful pieces of evidence. Number 6. The Spinners, Mighty Love, 1974. Philadelphia soul was at its absolute peak in 1974, and the Spinners, guided by producer Tom Bell, were right at the center of it. Mighty Love was a 2-part soul epic that showcased everything the Spinners could do. The harmonies were pristine, the production was lush, and the emotion was absolutely real. The song peaked at number 1 on the R&B charts and made significant noise on the pop charts.
From everything I had ever known.
But what makes Mighty Love truly special is its scale. This wasn't a 3-minute pop song. This was a journey. Part 1 builds. Part 2 explodes. And together, they create something cinematic. Tom Bell's production was extraordinary. The strings, the horns, the rhythm section, everything working together like a perfectly tuned orchestra. And the Spinners? They delivered every moment. On the lead vocals soaring, the harmonies supporting.
Things gotta change, yeah. They're gonna change, gotta change, yeah.
The performance absolutely flawless. This is Philadelphia soul at its finest. Sophisticated but accessible. Complex but emotional. Polished but passionate. Mighty Love stands as one of the greatest R&B recordings of the decade.
Girl said I never leave you, babe.
A monument to what happens when talented artists meet the right producer at exactly the right moment. 1974 was that moment. The Spinners and Tom Bell were those people. And Mighty Love is what they left behind for us. Number 5, LaBelle, Lady Marmalade, 1974. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? 5 French words. Sung by 3 black women in feathers, glitter, and platform boots. And the world has never been the same. LaBelle, Patti LaBelle, Nona Hendrix, and Sarah Dash recorded Lady Marmalade for Epic Records in 1974. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1975. But the recording happened in 1974, and what a recording it was. This wasn't just a song, this was a statement. 3 black women being bold, unapologetic, theatrical, and absolutely electric. In an era when that combination could have gotten them blacklisted. Instead, it got them to number 1. The production by Alan Toussaint was New Orleans-infused funk. The vocals were powerful and playful simultaneously. And the hook? Completely unforgettable. See Lady Marmalade. Broke every rule. Too sexual for conservative radio. Too rock for traditional R&B stations. Too theatrical for pop audiences. And yet, number 1. Because when something is that good, rules don't apply. LaBelle proved that authenticity beats formula every time. That 3 women being exactly who they were could conquer the entire music industry. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Indeed. 1974 said yes. Number 4. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Devotion, 1974. Earth, Wind, and Fire. In 1974, we're building towards something extraordinary. And Mighty Mighty from their Open Our Eyes album showed exactly where they were headed. The song peaked at number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100, but hit significantly higher on the R&B charts. But charts don't tell the whole story here. Mighty Mighty was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Establishing their identity. The horn section, the harmonies, the cosmic energy, the raw power that would define their career. Maurice White was assembling something unprecedented, a band that could be funky and spiritual, street level and transcendent. R&B and jazz and rock and gospel all at once. Mighty Mighty captured that ambition. The horns hit like a freight train. The rhythm section was locked in tight. And Philip Bailey's falsetto floated above everything like a spirit. This was a band announcing itself, saying, "We're here, and we're going to be something you've never experienced before." They were right. Earth, Wind, and Fire became one of the greatest bands in music history. And 1974 was when that story was just beginning to unfold. Mighty Mighty is where it started, and starting doesn't get much more impressive than this. Number 3, the OJs. For the Love of Money, 1974. That bass line, those 3 notes. Dun dun dun. You heard it in your head before you even finished reading the title. That's how iconic For the Love of Money is. Written and produced by Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, and Anthony Jackson, this Philadelphia International Records classic peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100, but hit number 3 on the R&B charts. But charts underrepresent the impact of this song. For the Love of Money was a warning. a sharp, funky, prophetic critique of capitalism and greed, wrapped in one of the most irresistible grooves ever recorded. The OJs delivered the lyrics with conviction. Eddie Levert's lead vocal was powerful and urgent. The harmonies were tight as a fist, and that bass line, Anthony Jackson's legendary work, became one of the most recognizable sounds in music history. Decades later, Donald Trump used it as his walkout music on The Apprentice. The irony was beautiful. A song criticizing the love of money became the theme song for a show celebrating wealth. The OJs would have laughed or cried. But that's the power of great art. It transcends its original context. It means different things to different people. It survives everything. For the Love of Money is 50 years old, and it still sounds like it was recorded yesterday. Money. It's just what I want. Number 2. George McCrae, Rock Your Baby, 1974. This song changed everything, literally. Rock Your Baby was recorded in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Harry Wayne Casey and Richard Finch of KC and the Sunshine Band wrote it and produced it, initially intending it for their own use. But when George McCrae walked into TK Records and they needed something for him to record, they handed him the track. He learned it on the spot and recorded it almost immediately. The result? One of the most important recordings of the decade. Rock Your Baby hit number 1 in the United States and the United Kingdom, and 16 other countries simultaneously. But more importantly, it directly inspired the creation of modern disco. Giorgio Moroder heard it and used it as the blueprint for what became the Euro disco sound. Donna Summer, The Village People, on all of it traces back to this moment. George McCrae's voice is perfectly suited to the song. Gentle but expressive. Smooth without being slick. And the production, that pioneering use of synthesizers and drum machines, sounds like the future arriving ahead of schedule. Rock Your Baby was a seed, and the tree that grew from it changed popular music forever. George McCrae recorded the most accidental masterpiece of 1974, and the world has been dancing to it ever since. Come on. Number 1. Stevie Wonder, You Haven't Done Nothing, 1974. In 1974, Stevie Wonder was the most important musician in the world. And You Haven't Done Nothing proves exactly why. Released on Tamla Records, the song hit number 1 on both the Billboard, Hot 100, and the R&B charts simultaneously. And it deserved every chart position. But this wasn't just a great song, this was a political statement. You Haven't Done Nothing was a direct critique of Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal. Stevie Wonder wasn't whispering, he wasn't being subtle. He was standing at the microphone and calling out the President of the United States. In 1974, on Motown Records, at the height of his commercial success. That took courage, real, genuine courage. And the Jackson 5 provided background vocals on the track, their voices creating a joyful contrast to the pointed lyrics. The production was funky and irresistible, and Stevie's vocal performance was passionate and righteous. This is what happens when genius meets conviction. When the most talented artist of his generation decides his art needs to mean something. When entertainment becomes testimony. You Haven't Done Nothing is everything great music should be. Technically brilliant, emotionally powerful, culturally significant, and absolutely impossible to ignore. Nixon resigned 2 months after this song hit #1. Coincidence? Probably. But in 1974, Stevie Wonder was operating on a frequency that made anything feel possible. The greatest song of 1974. The greatest artist of his generation. At the peak of his powers. Saying exactly what needed to be said. That's why we'll never forget it. From the birth of disco to Stevie Wonder calling out the president. From Barry White's Velvet Thunder to LaBelle's Fearless Revolution. 1974 wasn't just a year, it was a statement. These 15 songs prove that music can be more than entertainment. It can be history. It can be courage. It can be the soundtrack to a world changing in real time. And 50 years later, these songs still sound like the future. Thanks for taking this journey back to 1974 with us. If these songs moved you, hit that subscribe button. Up next, we're diving into the unforgettable music of 1975. Another incredible year. Another story that needs to be told. Keep the soul alive.